So what is the third topic?
Yeah.
How do I know whether to say go to photos or not? I don't know.
Okay, so the third topic. Well, let's just do this quick then. We'll just do it quick.
Okay.
So topic number 3, lighter in 2024. So what I always like to do is before we go live, I always like to post, what people would like us to talk about. And a lot of times people have kind of repeated things that we've already talked about recently. So unfortunately, I don't always pick those things. But this is one that somebody did ask. And they said, would you guys want to see lighter statues in 2024 if it meant that, let's say, that all the sideshow statues were like a PVC material? If it meant that shipping was going to be a lot less. Obviously, we've talked on the channel before about how we like there to be kind of some weight to our statues, or to be some, like I've got this Joker, like we like that it's like weighted, it's got some weight to it. I've got this art piece back here that I'm not reviewing for the channel, but it's polystone and PVC combined. I don't feel like there's any detail lost on it compared to a polystone statue. There are elements of him that's still heavy. The base is still heavy, which I like because I feel like it gives it support. But then there's also PVC elements, PVC plasticky elements as well, which in some cases we've heard that the PVC is more expensive to work with.
Yep.
So like, how do you guys feel at this point in 2024? Because I know in the old days, people were bring out their pitchforks and torches if anybody mentioned PVC. But with the insane shipping costs or what Eric just had to deal with and that sort of thing, would you guys be okay with going that route? I know, again, there's been some customs that have been purchased lately that are PVC. Does that bother you at all, Dan?
I really don't know. And I'm sitting here thinking, I don't know if I'm familiar with a piece that's entirely PVC, because if it's too light, it's probably going to feel more like a toy.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You start getting in that like that, and again, no offense to like a Kotobukiya or like that just they have that plasticky feel to them.
Exactly.
Diamond Select, again, they look great, but there is that.
It's a different feel, and I don't
different feel.
Now, a blend. I mean, somebody just mentioned a second ago. I think it already scrolled past, but like the PVC capes or PVC elements to the piece. Certain things so that they're not as breakable. I'm good with that, but the whole thing, I don't know.
I just want to thank Jimmy. Became a member again tonight. Member for 25 months here on the channel. That's so again, thank you so very much. I appreciate you, Jimmy, for being with me so long, and then also here on the Rogues Gallery. Thank you very, very much.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when I think about statues, I think about like going back to like even before I collected like superhero statues, I used to collect like Renaissance statues, and it's just things that like, look like maybe like marble or, something like that. And when I think of the word statue, I think of something heavy. I don't think I would want like PVC or, something that I'm going to feel like it's going to blow off the shelf, or if I accidentally bump into it, or if the table shakes or something, it's going to go flying. But yeah, as far as like, for like the capes and like certain, they do it even with the polystone statue, certain elements on the statue do have to be, lighter material like PVC. But yeah, the whole statue, I probably wouldn't buy it, to be honest.
Would you want lighter bases? Like, I feel like the bases tend to be the heaviest part of statues a lot of times, where it's just obnoxiously heavy.
I can see that. Does that throw off the engineering if you've got a heavy polystone piece on top of a lighter PVC base?
It absolutely could. I'm assuming that's why oftentimes they are as heavy as they are.
I mean, maybe sometimes, like I'm going back. I'm thinking about my.
Hey, Cece.
Hey, Cece.
Challenge accepted, right?
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, I don't back down from challenges normally. So.
All right. Well, we're glad to have you pop on. Thanks for being here with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So we're talking about, I don't know if you've been following along since you've been logging in, but we've been talking about like weights of statues and collectibles. Does the weight bother you at all, or do you expect that heaviness feel to your collectibles?
Yeah, I don't. It's funny. I think years ago I read an article about the origins of why we equate heavy objects with quality or like a high price tag. I think it's almost like diamonds are forever by De Beers. Like we just have some campaign slogan to blame for that. I think if it looks good, I really don't matter. And with the cost of shipping, I'm not going to be upset about something being lightweight at a time like this. If it means it saves us a lot of money in the long run.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like, especially like when you were talking about the capes, like the Batman Detective Comics, 1000, that is a PVC cape. Thank God. Thank God, because I think that was brilliant. I don't think it loses anything by being PVC. I think it looks great, and I don't worry at all about it breaking. But like the statue that Dan just moved last week, with the Bat bike, like that's scary because that is incredibly breakable.
It's interesting what they decide to make PVC and what they decide to make polystone. So I was going to say with the penguin. So like, the character is polystone, but the penguins are freaking like one of those penguins that like, it's like, one of the penguins maybe like 10 inches tall. It feels like it feels like it weighs almost like 10 pounds. It's like, so certain, like you can't win. It's like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish they would have made this heavier. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish they would have made it lighter. So like, I don't know why they made, a penguin that's on the back of the base 10 pounds heavy when they could have, just made it have like PVC or something.
And I think,
go ahead. Sorry.
I think I've heard that it's actually more expensive for the statue manufacturers to incorporate PVC as opposed, like it'd be far cheaper to just stick with 100% polystone.
Right. Yeah, especially if they're printing it. So if they're printing it directly, it's more money than like molding it. Yeah.
So maybe that's why we haven't seen a lot of lighter weight statues, because if it is more expensive on their end, they're obviously either going to raise the price of the statue. I mean, they're going to pass it on to us for sure.
I think it was we had on someone from who's the company that makes those animated busts, the Batman animated busts?
Is that Gentle Giant or Diamond Select?
Yeah, Diamond Select. We had on the guy from Diamond Select, and I think he was the one that was telling us about that. How it's more money to print them, like directly print something out than they would have like polystone or something.
Yeah, for me, like as long as the element it still looks good, I don't really care. But I do feel like I don't know. And like when it comes to engineering, again, it does make me feel better knowing that the base is a little heavier, knowing that the statue won't topple over or things like that. But I think as long as I don't know, I guess long story short, too late. I feel like going completely PVC is not my cup of tea. I do feel like it would start feeling a little bit more toy-like.
So would you hesitate?
You guys all agree with that?
Would you hesitate to buy a Blitzway piece because of the PVC portrait?
No, because I have one already. I've got my Ledger Joker. I love it. It doesn't bother me at all. You can't tell that it's PVC.
It's the same thing with I'm sorry, Rita. I was gonna say it's the same thing with silicone. Like I'm not into like silicone looking statues, like especially like smaller ones. It looks like a doll to me. So I mean, it's everybody has their own taste. It's another material I'm not a fan of. So.
But like again, like do we all agree like we would not be real happy if it was all PVC?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, and Eric, I'm sorry if you said this while I was getting ready, but I think also the paint doesn't like gel well with PVC as much as it does polystone.
They've been doing a better job. If we go back, maybe like, at least for me, like 6-7 years ago when I started collecting statues, there used to be a really big difference in the paint. The color, the shades, when they would try to paint something, on the statue that was plastic versus polystone. Like say, like Captain Marvel was a good example. The first sideshow Captain Marvel they did, her I don't know what you call it, like the outskirt thing that flows out was made out of plastic, and and then around her waist was the belt, a sash. So the waist was polystone, but the sash was PVC, and they used the same like maroon color, and you can see like the difference between the material and the shade. It's just, I guess it absorbs the paint a little bit different, but I think the companies have been doing a lot, better job at making things match, when they're using two different materials between the paint.
Well, I mean, Hot Toys are PVC, right?
What was PVC?
Aren't Hot Toys PVC?
I never had a Hot Toys. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they look great. They have incredible likenesses.
Yep, they are, and they've obviously figured out a way to paint. And I know sometimes it's like even like a printing technique almost that they do on it. I don't know how they do that, but it's pretty incredible. So yeah, I think they've definitely come a long way. It's not your 1990s or 1980s PVC toys. It's definitely come a long way with what they've been able to do. Give a shout out real quick to Key JX, $20 super chat. Thank you very, very much. I'm not exactly sure if I understand what you're trying to say here. Well prepped Batman versus God blessing Black Panther. Does anybody understand what they're saying there? I'm not sure.
No.
Okay. I apologize. Thank you for the toy.
But I'm intrigued.
I am very intrigued also. So if you would just reword that, because I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to ask, Key. But thank you for the $20 super chat. That was really awesome. Again, I want to thank the 207 people watching right now. That's awesome. Again, I want to thank Susan for being on. I want to thank Cece for popping on randomly. This was awesome. Thank you very, very much.
I kind of understand it, but no. All right, good.
What'd you say, Eric?
I'm thinking it says with prep, would Batman versus God versus Black Panther maybe? Who would win in a fight?
I don't know the second character, but I think it's a reference to like everyone saying, well, with enough prep time, Batman could basically be anyone. So I think it's like, but I don't understand the God Bast, and then is it like Batman versus a character I don't know versus Black Panther? But
okay.
Kickback is $20, and I can't even make out what that means. So again, hopefully just reword it, and hopefully we'll be able to figure it out. But yeah, with enough prep time, Batman can take on anybody, right?
Yeah, but that's not the main, like CC was saying. Like a lot of people compare Black Panther to Batman, who would win with prep time.
Justin says, "Well, Bast is the Panther god."
Oh, so maybe it's just like with prep, would Batman beat Black Panther?
Yeah.
Oh. That's a great question. I mean, I'm the Batman statue collector, so I'm going to say yes. But what do you guys think?
That's a $20 question.
That is a $20 question.
Who knows? He's supposed to beat everybody with prep time, right? So,
yeah.
Well, Batman's got the gadgets, right? Batman's got the gadgets. He's going to do recon. He's going to be a detective. Whereas, I don't know. But
he's so depressed, though.
He is depressed. Maybe if they just take him to Wakanda for a while, he'll be happy.
See?
You never know.
I
agree. Eric says CC is awesome. I concur. Absolutely awesome.
Well, I just realized like both Black Panther and Batman are orphans.
That's true.
Oh, that's a good point.
So neither of them can like take their parents to brunch on Mother's Day or something. I don't know.
Ronaldo Rodriguez says, "Hi Chris, I'll be one of those people holding back on buying items from Prime One. I think I'm still okay with buying from Prime One. Again, I just feel like it's one of those things where you just have to kind of know what you're getting into.
I mean, like everything else that's going on with them, just blame it on the new website design, because that seems ever since they updated the website, everything seems to be causing issues. So.
Yeah. Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these two awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also please join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.